So guys, as we were talking about rafter or truss in the previous session, in which we control or specify the placement position of the roof in truss or rafter, that you'll see it is placed from the interior or the exterior edges, that when we here played offset from base, when I change it and I specify 1 meter, then you'll see the differences. Watch this, truss, rafter. Watch this, if I set it to wireframe, let me specify another roof. Watch this, you'll see that in fact we are specifying the reference for calculating the height based on interior or exterior of the wall. Let me open one of the elevations in west, check it out. Then I isolate these two elements to show you the results. Right now, as you can see, this is the thickness of the wall, and if I draw a reference line here, watch this, then I draw another one, 300s, Control Z, 300s. If I select this and set it to rafter, watch this, truss, you see it is moved to downwards. Again, watch this, here and here, related to truss and rafter. Right now, rafter, watch this, and truss, like this way, based on exterior or interior edges of the wall, like this way, and maximum ridge height, which is related to the highest point of the roof above base level of the building. If I measure the distance here, look at this, I reset it, I should move it downwards, edit, I should deselect the wall and then I extend it up to here. Let's see, one of them is negative actually, nearly 10 meters. Here, as you can see, this is the height of the building, or the height of the toppest point or the highest point of the building, which is a read-only parameter only for being reported. And as you can see in a slope, we got no values since we got variable values for a slope. It is not fixed. Thickness, volume, and area, as you can see. Up to now, I open the 3D view. When we select the roof and we edit the sketch, here we got two options, align eaves and two tools. Eaves is related to the edges of the roofs, that we can align the heights or aligning the overhang along Z direction and also along this reference plane. Let me select it. Firstly, here as you can see, minus 42 and 308 that are different. Adjust height, I select it and then we apply it. Right now they are applied and equal, as you can see. Watch this, they are aligned. Again, we can edit them, but this time, right now, as you can see, the eaves are already aligned. So we cannot use this option if I change one of them to destroy the alignment. Control Z. I can change the overhang 1000 and finish. Then I edit it, align eaves. As you can see, we got access to the two tools. This time I want to adjust the overhang. Firstly, I select this, and then I click on others to align other sections with the first section, and it is available only on the sloped roofs. So we can use adjust height or adjust overhang to align the eaves by changing the size of overhang or height. But if they are already aligned, we cannot change them, as you can see. So we click on finish to save the changes. Anyway, again I select the roof, I click on edit footprint. Here there are some points that I want to mention them. The first point here is that here if we have a roof made up of an arc, for instance, by footprint, and then I enable radius, and then I draw a rectangle here with some fillets at the corners. Then we click on finish. Watch this. Then if I edit this and then I select the arcs, then we'll have an option which is number of full segments. Then if I define other value except 0, then these will be divided into 3 parts. Let me uncheck define a slope. Watch this. Again I edit it, selecting them, define a slope, 10 parts. We have to increase the size of the arcs. Let me trim them. I want to increase the radius, 2000 and 2000. Okay, watch this. It is divided into 10 parts. Again we edit it. We minimize the number of full segments, 4, and this is the result. Check it out. So if we use arcs at the corners, we can use this technique. If you wanted to have a design on the roof, we can firstly we have to select the roof, then edit footprint, then I want to deform the roof. Here from split elements, I check delete inner segments, then I add 2 segments. I specify 2 values, 35 hundredths, and then I want to draw a line which is not sloped, or if it was a slope, please select it and uncheck define a slope. Then here we got a slope arrow that we add slope arrows to a sketch. That here we can add more than 1 slope arrows opposite to the floors that we were only available to add 1 slope arrow. We draw the first slope arrow, then these 2, then I select these 2 slope arrows, and we talked about these options. We can set it to height at tail or slope. Height at tail and 18 hundredths for height offset at head. Then this will be the result, as you can see, 18 hundredths. Again I can select these 2, 12 hundredths. Watch this. We moved it downwards, so you can create such a roof. And then at the other side, a split. I uncheck delete, and I can define a specific value or deleting or splitting them, 25 hundredths and 2500 at the other side. Then I connect them, then I uncheck define slope, cancel. I undefine a slope, construct defined by highlighted lines. I delete it and then I want to draw it again, this time without slopes. Well done. Then slope arrows from this part to the other section. Let's check it out. Then I can define a slope here, for example 8%, and then I click on finish. Here we got a error message since we got flat and sloped in two sections. I finish it. Still this constraint can't be kept. I uncheck it. Let me cancel this. We can have different kinds of behaviors and reactions based of the lines. Since we have to check each of these lines and then solve the problem. Again, I want to draw the roof. Firstly, I split it at these 2 points. I uncheck define a slope. I draw the slope arrow and then finish. Check it out. We can use this technique for 4 corners. Let me delete these 2 slope arrows and also deleting the corners. I minimize this, or I trim it. Afterwards, let me check it, 2500. I move this downwards, 2500, Control Z, 63, 6200 by this way, and I align it with the other one. I minimize this, 3300 and 3300. Then I can use define a slope and draw these lines at the empty sections by this way, and then a slope arrow at these sloped parts for all of the corners, and then checking out the result. Again, I open this part. Let's see. Done, and the last one. Great. After doing this, I can select the slope arrows and then specifying the height after that head, 1 meter. Then this will be the result. Watch this. You can model different kinds of geometries. I make a copy out of it, edit footprint, I delete the corners, and let me trim them by this way, and then I can delete all of them. I mean deleting the slopes, and then I define another slope arrow in 2 directions and finish. Then we'll have this. Check it out. No, we got no limitness in defining their slopes in the roofs, as I showed you.